Hello hatchlings and welcome to another video, and this is 5 days on testosterone. There aren't really all that many changes to talk about. The only thing really is that I'm a little bit more hungrier, but I think that just might be me. If it's not, well then it's the hormones and I know that they're working. Um, I don't think I really explained in much detail. Um, about what I'm doing in terms of my hormones. Um, so I went and saw an endocrinologist, and they gave me the A-OK for hormones and everything like that. So I have my script and prescription, and I'm now able to take all my hormones. What I don't think I did explain was that I accepted to take a part in a study in which it studies people before taking hormones and 2 years while on hormones. And so I went down to the hospital, I got some blood tests and a few other tests. And basically, what the whole entire study is to look at obviously the outward changes on hormones, but also the inward changes in when you take hormones, whether your bone density does change, whether things on the inside in terms of minerals, I guess, and fats and all of that change, and how they change on the inside. So it intrigues me because I know there's not a lot of research on all of this stuff too, so to be a part of a study in which it does that is pretty cool. I'm genuinely excited to see the results after the 2 years because I get my results and I get my full body scans and everything like that. So I'm genuinely interested myself. So I was like, yeah, I'll definitely sign up as a person who is taking testosterone and look at the effects of that. And there are other participants as well who are taking estrogen, and there are those who are taking no hormones who'll be studied over the 2 year period. And they're just kind of your, I guess, control groups, if you will. So, I don't know, it would be interesting to see the results of that. I also wanted to talk about the amount of hormones that I'm taking because I am not taking all that much. I'm taking the lowest dose that you can get. And the reason that is because what my doctors like to do is make everything gradual. The reason they like to make everything gradual is because when you first start taking hormones, they don't want you to give you a lot, and they don't want to give you one that lasts too long in case you are allergic or you start having really bad reactions to it. And obviously, if it lasts a long time, that's not a good idea if you do have those things. I haven't had any adverse reactions so far on the 5 days, so I think I'm okay. I haven't seen all that many changes, but I think because everything is gradual, it will be a lot more slower and more gradual than what you might see if you were, I guess, looking at somebody else transitioning who may be on more. But I think after 6 weeks or 6 months, 3 to 6 months maybe, I will get an increase in my hormones after my blood tests and they see everything's okay. I'll get a gradual increase. Then I'll get more blood tests and stuff later, and then if I need to, then I'll get another increase. If I don't need to, that's fine. They just kind of like to gradually do things, which is fine, and I think probably a lot more safer as well, and I can understand they're obviously trying to keep people's safety and well-being in mind while they're doing these things. Um, I think as well, what I didn't talk about as well was the clinic that I went to and was seeing, and where I was going for my gender therapist appointment. So, um, when I was trying to figure out where to go for things, my fiance has a friend in Melbourne who was like, well, I just went to this place and they were really good about everything. They help the LGBTQ plus community, is what they say on their little thing. Um, Even if you're not in the area, they will help you. So that's good. I called them up and they said there'll probably be a 2 month waiting period just to kind of get into the clinic, and I was like, that's fine. But then I got a phone call saying that I could have it within the next month, and that kind of shocked me a little bit, but was really exciting, and I think I was lucky in that aspect that there was somebody who knew to direct me to that clinic. The name of the clinic is Northside Clinic. Um, it's near Melbourne Central. If you go to Melbourne Central, you can catch a tram from that location and you can tram down there. If you take public transport and you don't drive, if you drive, you should be able to access the address through your GPS, I think, or your phone. But that's how you can get down there. I live a fair way away, so traveling down there takes a bit of time, I will admit, but I would have to be traveling into the city, I believe, regardless. Once I was there, they directed me to someone who specializes in gender therapy, who's also a psychologist and psychiatrist in Ringwood North. It's near Eastland, and the only thing I can remember is the gender therapist's name, and I'm not too sure if I should say it. So I may just Google that very quickly to get the name of the actual place. That way you know where to go. Just because I don't want to... I don't want to give anything away that is confidential and may upset things, I guess, so I'll go and quickly look that up. Okay, so I cannot find it, and the address, it doesn't sound correct, but from what I found, it was Mullum Road in Ringwood. But that's who I was directed to when I went to Northside Clinic. They might refer you to somebody else who might be closer, and they genuinely refer you to people who they've sent other people to and have had really good reports about. So they're not gonna send you to people who don't really know anything about the topics and who aren't as, I guess, educated. They're gonna send you to good people. So if you go and ring up Northside Clinic if you are near the Melbourne area, which is Melbourne, Victoria, Australia, then you will be able to hopefully get help if you are looking at all of this stuff that I guess I'm going through. Not everything I'm going through, but if you're just looking for help in that regard, then call them up and they'll be able to help you, definitely. And I don't know, they treat everything really good, they're really nice about everything, so that was always a plus. I talked about why I chose the roll-on, kind of the roll-on testosterone, which they say is kind of like a moisturizer, but it's not. It's an alcohol solution that you just kind of rub on your arm, and you kind of swap from arm to arm each time. So each day I'll use one arm, then the next, then the other. And it specifically says it's only for the underarm area. You can't put it anywhere else on your body, simply just because it just won't absorb as good, and probably shouldn't be put there. If it says it shouldn't be put there, probably shouldn't be put there, in, just to be safe, just be safe. I think apart from that, that I believe is everything that I covered, I guess, medically. In terms of my endocrinologist appointment, I didn't have to pay a fee my first appointment. By the looks of things, the Australian government kind of covers a lot of transgender health related issues. And this is the part where it sucks. The only reason why it is covered is because it comes under as a mental illness and therefore it is funded as such by the government. But if it wasn't under that, then it wouldn't be funded at all. So there are some weird good and bad things about that. The fact that it is still treated as a mental illness in terms of the government, which a lot of people who I went and talked to in the medical field, who I was sent to, didn't treat it as such at all. And they said, like, it sucks that it is, but that is how we get our funding. So there's always some good and bad, I guess, in these things. Like, it sucks that it is, but at the same time, it wouldn't be funded if it wasn't seen as such. So I don't know, you just kind of have to see where it all takes us in the future, I guess. In terms of, are my hormones expensive? No, not really. They were $5.30, so that's pretty good. I believe it lasts like 3 weeks. I will let you know roughly how long it lasts me, but it was about $5.30, and when I talked to my grandparents, they said, yeah, that's pretty much roughly how much hormones cost for those who are older and needing to take hormones anyway. So I am just assuming that I am being treated as a person who, I guess I'm treated as, in my case, a male who needs testosterone, and in other cases it will be whichever case it may be. So that's kind of cool that I'm just treated as somebody who does not have the correct hormones, I guess, or who needs certain hormones. Hormones. I can't say words properly. Anyway, I hope you found this useful and interesting, and I will hopefully see you all in a wingspan. Bye bye!